Welcome to a special episode of the Signal Pulse Pod. We're here with Christopher Lane in beautiful Washington, D.C. at the Capitol Hill Club. And what are we about to embark upon, Chris?
Well, first, it's very nice to do a show together. I don't know if we've ever done this.
And yeah, it's been a long time coming.
So we're at the Capitol Hill Club. This is our third annual 30 Under 30 event for America's Rising Republican Operatives, or ARRO, as we call it.
And what was the genesis of this event? How did you come up with that?
Yeah, close to 4 years ago now, I approached some folks about the idea of starting this organization. And the idea was very simple. It was like, how do we connect the rising stars in our industry with one another to give them a sense of camaraderie, to make those relationships? Because as we all know, it's really hard, especially on a national level, to create relationships across state lines, to create relationships that will be helpful both personally and professionally. And, that was the first year. And then we put out, applications for people to join. We had that first class, the second class, and now we're up to 90 people who will be recognized here, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think just kind of from where this, idea started from and that first year with just the initial 30. And I mean, now we've got an event. I mean, our viewers can't see the event behind us, but we're going to have hundreds of people here tonight. It's going to be an awesome time. And now we've got several classes in a row of these folks who, we've started to build relationships with and help them to connect one another. And I was just wondering, what kind of gave you that idea initially? And how did you first get this started?
Yeah, I think what I went back to was I vividly remember starting to work in politics in Massachusetts and going into those rooms and being hopeful that I knew one person. And then, 6 months later, I knew 3. And 8 months later, I knew 12. And 2 years later, I knew 40. And then it reached a point towards my end of my career with Governor Baker in Massachusetts that it was really hard to find a new person in the room. And we all know what that's like to do that progression. So if we can somehow accelerate that progress, so that way when people are starting to create the relationships here in DC and across the country, to have that opportunity to have something in common and someone to lean on, I think that's what's made this special. And as we grow here, the room gets larger every year, the atmosphere gets better every year, the open bar helps. And now we're on the verge of something that, we may have to outgrow this building at some point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe next year. But what do you think? How do you see this event growing in the future? And kind of what's the next step for ARRO?
Yeah, so I think, from an industry standpoint, here we are with the most talented young people in our industry, right? And so I desperately want to know these people and create relationships with them because it's who we're going to be working with for decades to come. And what I envision is that, everyone across our industry is going to want to meet the same group of people. And so in the future, I'd like to bring in more partners, more sponsors, grow this thing bigger and bigger. And then that way, over time, you're part of something really big and much bigger than yourself. And when that moment comes where you're looking for a new job or you're looking for a partner on a project or you're looking for a connection in a particular state, you're not starting from zero. You're starting with a huge network of people that you can really rely upon.
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly this event doesn't happen without, a lot of work, a lot of help. Obviously, we've gotten hundreds of applications at this point for, people nominating stuff, which we really, really appreciate. But obviously, we've got a great team that's, involved with putting together an event like this. What do you want to say to them?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say it enough. The team at Signal is the reason this event exists. To show up today here and have, this room so beautifully decorated and ready to go and what it takes to get all the invitations out and all the RSVPs and all the name tags. I can't say enough about the team at Signal who makes this happen. I'm incredibly appreciative of all their hard work. And frankly, the people who nominate make a huge difference. We want this to be a prestigious organization. And the only way we do that is by having prestigious members. And the only way we get that is by having the best of the best from applications to pick from. And over time, I think this is something that people are beginning to know about and recognize. And then, at some point here, I'm hoping that this is not just something that we know about or some insiders know about or members know about, but everyone knows about, and something that people aspire to be a part of.
Yeah. And for folks that are listening, what's the best way for them to get involved in this?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously this year is closed at this point, but heading into 2026, we'll reopen applications next spring for our fourth class, which will bring us to 120 folks. But with that, we rely heavily on people who have been nominated in the past, have been selected in the past, industry leaders who help us identify these folks, because it's really hard to keep a pulse on who's out there. And, that's the other point of all this, is to elevate those people and give them a platform they otherwise might not have had.
Well, Lane, thanks for being down here. Thanks for everything you've done to kind of, spearhead this event and create these opportunities for this class. And looking forward to next year.
Me too. Thanks so much.